to Jonathan Taylor. Huge hole. He's at the 30. He's going to go. 10, 5, touchdown. Jonathan Taylor made a man miss the line of scrimmage and then runs it into Pater. And a one-handed INT. Are you kidding me? Kenny Moore.
What a play by Nyheim Hines.
Horseshoe is back, baby. The horseshoe is back.
What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another Bring the Juice Colts podcast live stream. We are doing another live stream today where you guys get to call in and talk with us a little bit about what's going on with the Colts, obviously about their great game Sunday, the great matchup they have again coming up this next Sunday. And of course, I have been trying so hard to get my man Colts Law Lawrence Owen on here. I finally got this man onto the podcast with me this time. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. I'm feeling a whole lot better. We missed last time you asked because he was like, I was dealing with the COVID, and now the opportunity's here, and I'm glad that you reached out and was like, hey, can you make it? And I'm like, yay.
Yeah, I feel you, man. We definitely you and I have been trying now for a couple of weeks to try and get each other on, and things just haven't always gone according to plan, but I'm glad I finally got you on here. We can talk a little bit about Colts football. There's a lot to talk about now compared to a couple of weeks ago, so a lot of good things to talk about as well. Let's get into a few comments here before we get into anything else. Matt, Inside the Horseshoe Podcast, what's up, man? How you doing? Juiced up, how you doing, man? My girl's in here as well. Hey, Em, how you doing? Happy Turkey Day, guys. Hey, almost there. Also, real quick shout out to all of you. Happy early Thanksgiving to all of you. Tomorrow is a very special day, great holiday, surrounded by food and family and friends. Hopefully all of you in some way, shape, or form are able to enjoy that. Jordan, go Colts. What's up? How you doing, guys? Couple quick things here, guys, before we even hop into any sport-related topics. Well, in case anyone's noticed, I don't know if you can notice it or do notice it, but there is no green screen anymore. There is no backdrop. I finally got my room fixed that I needed to record. You guys used to always tell me that you were sick and tired of looking at the Dexter basement background. So I finally got the green screen, and now I've officially moved out of the living room and now into here. So hopefully you guys enjoy this somewhat of a background here. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. David's asking how you're feeling, man.
No, I feel 1,000 times better than I did a couple weeks ago. My voice still comes and goes, but for the most part, I can breathe, and that's a blessing, I'll tell you.
Dude, I know. I believe it, bro. When I was in the hospital, oh my gosh, I took that for granted so much, and I'm so glad I can do it now because, oh my gosh, dude, that was the worst thing in the world, feeling like I couldn't breathe on my own. It just was the worst thing in the world. Believe me, I know. My girls, I'm grateful for you. Thank you, babe. I appreciate that. We'll answer this next question that I got here from Smooth here in a second. But also, again, to the people who are just joining in and to the few people that are finding their way in right now, I just want to say, again, what I'm thankful for. And what I'm thankful for is all of you. Because what this podcast has done over the last 2 weeks has just been insane with the subscriber numbers that we have been getting over the last few weeks. I can tell you guys right now, over the last 7 days, or over the last 3 days, over 400 new subscribers. Wow. Over the last 3 days. We broke 9,000 subscribers on this channel during the live play-by-play reaction to the Buffalo Bills game. We were trying so hard to beat that. And we broke an all-time like record. We had over 720 likes on the stream. It was a phenomenal stream. It's the second largest video we have on the channel. Thank you all again so much for doing that. And of course, all of you who are coming in because of the giveaways. I know the Jonathan Taylor giveaway we're doing has probably brought a few of you in here, so greatly appreciate that. And don't be discouraged if you don't get it. We will have some more. We will have some more of those going on. Heck, we might even give away another one next week. Who knows? Maybe Jonathan Taylor goes for another 100 scrimmage yards, adds on to that record, and we just decide to give away another one. But I appreciate every single person who is in here and was doing all this for us. I mean, truly incredible. We really think that we might be able to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of the season if we can keep this up. Of course, it's not without your guys' help, so greatly appreciate that. And again, guys, if you want to join the stream, be sure to follow the link right here below. You can use that link. You can get a chance to join the live stream. We're going to talk about a couple different topics. We'll give you guys a minute or two to have a discussion with us. And here's one question that I wanted to bring up. How much of that game plan for last week's game and the game plans recently do you think Marcus Brady has had his hands on, or do you think it's been more of Reich's scheme?
Oh, this is a lot to do with Marcus Brady, and it's been slowly implementing, I think, throughout the season. You could tell Marcus's handprints because the first 5 weeks of the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts led the league in play action percentage. And now we're seeing more and more and more RPO being put in, and that's more of a college and Canadian league style of an offense that Marcus Brady and the quarterbacks coach as well are really into that type of situation. And you could tell that they're having a lot of input on these game plans.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the way the Colts were able to run the football that Sunday. It felt like there were a lot of new running packages, a bunch of different blocking schemes that we had not seen so far this season, you know, with tight ends pulling, the different guys running different directions. It felt like every single time they ran the football, it just felt like you saw a different look every time, and it really kept the Bills offline. How much of that goes into Reich? I mean, obviously they planned on that going into this week, but do they continue to try to do stuff like that, or do they go back to a traditional running package? I would assume not this week because of who they're playing.
Well, to be fair, okay, so Brady's probably had a massive hand in designing these plays, but the guy with the clipboard is Frank Reich. So he's calling the plays. You know, he's the one out there saying, this is what needs to be done. This is the correct play for this situation. And I'm loving the fact that not only are we seeing a lot more 2 and 3 tight end packages like we have, you know, we're seeing more multiple running back formations where Hines is out there and stuff. So you're seeing a lot of 32 and 23 packages, which is weird. Not used to seeing that kind of stuff from the Indianapolis Colts. And it's making things much more difficult for defenses to really game plan stuff like that. And to be honest with you, this is a game, and this is from what I'm seeing from film. I would not be surprised if we see a little bit more play action this game rather than RPO, because Tampa Bay leads the NFL in loaded boxes. All right. They already lead the NFL in loaded boxes with the number 1 defense against the run. So if you run play action, that's going to crowd that loaded box even more and allow guys like the tight ends and the running backs and the wide receivers to find slants and stuff off that play action. So I would not be surprised if you see a little bit more play action drawn up for this game against Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of different schemes and looks they had for the run. I mean, like I mentioned, Jack Doyle getting pulled a lot. And then you're leaving that defensive end out there for him to push. And then you're getting, I mean, it felt like it was so much easier this time around for the offensive line to be able to get to that second level and provide JT with those better looks and better ways of getting out into the end, end. And you're right, with the way they used Hines in motion a lot and being able to do that. I mean, it does force you to look one direction, and it gives Jonathan Taylor that split second to be able to find where he wants to go. And that was the big one for the second touchdown he had. It was the receiving touchdown when when Hines motions to the right and Pittman goes to the right, and you have Granson running his route to the right. You're forcing everyone to look right. And then Jonathan Taylor seeps out to the left. And just because nobody was paying attention to him, because you're focusing on Hines going out into the flat, I mean, it was a really great design to be able to do that. And so, I mean, let's talk about Jonathan Taylor. I mean, 5 touchdowns. That was a career day for Jonathan Taylor. That was a all-time great performance. I mean, that's going to go down as one of the greatest performances ever by a running back, let alone the best one in Colts history. I mean, what did you think watching Jonathan Taylor that Sunday and seeing what he was able to do all game long?
Well, what was beautiful about it is he only had one play over 30 yards. This was a day where he was just averaging like a good 5 to 10 yards every time he touched the football. And that is so difficult that's way more demoralizing on a defense than, giving up a couple 30+ yard runs, but then holding you down to like 3 yards a carry. Jonathan Taylor was doing anything and everything he darn well wanted to the Buffalo Bills, including through the pass game. Man, that play where you saw him run that wheel route real quick, and Carson Wentz threw that out there, catches that football, makes the first guy miss, runs up, stiff arms, then runs over 2 people to get to the end zone. That's Jonathan Taylor, and we ain't seen nothing like this since the good old days when we was watching Edger and James run the football. This is a beautiful thing to watch.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like we got a couple people waiting in here. Bring in my friend Juiced Up 13. You guys seen him from before. I think your mic is muted there, sir. But yeah.
What's up, guys?
How's it going, man? It's been a long time talking to you.
Yeah, it has been. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. What did you think of the game Sunday, man?
Honestly, I wasn't expecting any of that. I was caught by surprise. I'm very happy that happened.
Yeah, totally. It was a historic day, not for sure, especially for Jonathan Taylor. I'll ask you real quick because we're about to hop into that conversation here in a second. But what was your opinion on Carson Wentz? Because a lot of people were using that game on Sunday as an excuse to really kind of dog on him for only completing 55% of his passes and only having 106 yards. So what was your take on Carson Wentz on Sunday?
Honestly, he managed the game. He didn't have any turnovers. I think the media and everybody else likes to bash Wentz for no reason, but that's just me.
Yeah, Lawrence, I mean, you got anything more to add to that one?
Oh yeah. Okay, so that was a good respect there, Juiced. I'll tell you what. Carson Wentz did what he was asked to do. He wasn't asked to do anything. I mean, it's a situation. Okay, so on 3rd and long, Wentz, this is where you need to go out there and shine and do your thing. But for the most part, he was asked, don't turn the football over and don't end up, making stupid decisions with the ball. And you got to remember, yeah, he was 11 of 20 or whatnot, but 4 of those, he threw the ball away. Just get rid of it, and that right there, that's huge. That shows maturity and growth out of Carson Wentz that we haven't seen a lot of like we did earlier in the season. So I'm thinking that he's getting better and better at making decisions. I mean, come on, man. That 3rd and long where he ducked the sack and took off and then slid after he got the first down, there's all kind of growth I'm seeing out of Carson Wentz.
In my opinion, that was the best play of the game. That was the most important one. You're only up a score. It's the middle of the second quarter. Bills maybe get some momentum if that play doesn't happen. And Carson Wentz just stuffed all their hopes right there and then.
Yeah,
Carson Wentz? You mean Carson Houdini?
right?
Yeah, right.
You heard a collective gasp from all of Bills Nation there in the stadium as they went, oh crap, this game's over now.
Yeah, I think he did a great job of managing the game, and I'm just trying to tell people he didn't have to do much. He just had to make a few throws to keep the drives going, which he did. And everyone wants to neglect the fact that he had 4 drops in that game from his receivers. So, they don't drop the ball, and then he's completing 70% of his passes rather than 50. So, all things considered. But, hey, man, so real quick, before we let you go, I'm going to hop into somebody else here. But real quick, what is your prediction for this next game against Tampa Bay? Obviously, another tough challenge.
I think their defense is going to be really stingy, and it's going to be pretty rough. But I feel like, I'm going to be a homebody and say we got the dub. But it's going to be a grimy game.
Yeah, it totally will, man. It's going to be a tough one for sure. Might be one of the toughest games we have left on this schedule. But, hey, man, thanks so much for hopping in here. We appreciate you.
You too. Later, guys.
See you later. Man. All right. So, we'll hop into the defense here real quick, and then we'll go to our next guest. The defense seems to be figuring itself out a little bit. I think that Eberflus and the staff have done a better job of figuring out like what kind of way they want to run their defense. And on top of it, it's been nice to see guys like Isaiah Rodgers and Rock Yassin stepping up and being those corners that we need them to be. Nothing flashy, nothing spectacular, but solid, not making bad decisions and keeping everything in front of them.
Rock Yassin's been doing it from the get-go this year. Opening day, he's been playing solid outside corner. Rodgers coming in while Rhodes is hurt. Rhodes had a heck of a play on that interception. If it had not been for him when his really good coverage and stepped in front of the receiver, high pointing that sucker at the point where the receiver absolutely had no chance to even touch that ball, and then tipping it towards Kenny Moore, that was a beautiful play by Rhodes. But honestly, this defense has played great on an individual basis all year. It's that fourth quarter when you start seeing that soft zone come out, and you're like, how did you let 300 yards, passing happen in the fourth quarter or some crap like that and let teams back in? It's because of the soft zone calling. Yeah. It has nothing to do, in my opinion, of really the play so much of the players on the field. The players on the field are doing well. I really do believe that. So just, they need to keep the foot on the gas the entire game. And, whatever got you there, keep doing it. Force them to be able to adjust to what you're doing. Don't adjust to what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, very much so. All right, let's bring in our next person here. Hello.
Hey.
Ninkowski.
How are you, boys?
I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
Good, man. Good. How are you, Derek? It's good to finally be on here with you as well. And
greatly appreciate it, man. Greatly appreciate it. So, what was your opinion of the Colts game on Sunday?
I love the way that we were able to relax and do what needed to be done, which was get that dub. There was no other option for that game, as there won't be another option for the Buccaneer game either. Now, the fact that it's Tom Brady and the Super Bowl champions, makes it a little bit harder, but nobody thought that we was going to be able to beat Buffalo up at their place either, and minus 15 degrees. So bring it on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I'll ask you about that game a little more, and I'll talk about the defensive line. Kwity Paye, again, had a big strip sack at a very pivotal moment. George Odom stepped up big time for this team, having one interception, almost had 3 on the day. Kenny Moore had a great one with Xavier Rhodes. I mean, this defense as a total just really did a fantastic job. What was your impression of that defense and going up against Josh Allen and this high-powered offense they have?
Bro, you don't need to ask me. I'm watching the Pacers game right now on NBA League Pass, and about 10 minutes ago, those guys got the biggest cheer you'll ever hear at any other game other than a Colts game. That was amazing. You know, all of Indianapolis and in the state of Indiana knows how good this team can be. And finally, I feel like Frank Reich has them playing for one big cause, you know, which is what football is all about. Because in one play, you can be paralyzed, you can be dead. This is a full contact sport, you know, so it's every play all out, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna let you go on one more question here.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your opinion on going into this next game against Tampa? Do you think that this defense can do the same kind of things against Tom Brady as what they did against Josh Allen and the Bills?
Man, I think Josh Allen was a big test for us, so this is just another stepping stone. Now, this Tom Brady guy is about 20 years older than our guys, but it is what it is. He just has more experience. The youth is on our side, the strength is on our side, so they should be able to get done what needs to get done, which is get that done.
Absolutely, man. Love the enthusiasm. Thank you so much, sir, for hopping on. We appreciate
it.
Brother.
Ninkowski is awesome.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, I'll ask you real quick, and then we'll go to the next person. We got a bunch of people lined up, probably go back to back on the next one, but this defensive line, I mean, Kwity Paye is starting to figure it out. I mean, he's been getting much more consistent pressure over the last few weeks, and it's starting to show. He's finally getting those guys that he wants. And, you know, Dio's making some plays, Kamoko Toure occasionally, DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart really doing a great job of stuffing the run on the inside. And, of course, Taylor Stallworth over the last 3 weeks has 3 sacks, has made some great plays in the run defense. He's been stepping up. Has the defensive line really helped rejuvenate what this defense has been able to do?
Well, I mean, against the Bills, they played very similar to what they did against the Ravens in the whole aspect of trying to contain Josh Allen, right? And then forcing him to go left instead of right, and that whole situation, and using the interior pressure to force plays to the outside defensive ends. Tom Brady, on the other hand, is not Josh Allen, is not Lamar Jackson, is not Patrick Mahomes. He isn't even Ryan Tannehill. He is a great quarterback who will sit in that pocket and pick you apart. You got to get pressure. So instead of trying to play contain, they can just pin their ears back against Tom Brady and just get pressure in his face. I'm expecting more out of the defensive line this coming Sunday than what we did against the Bills.
Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting to see what they come up with. All right, let's try and bring a couple more people in here. We have a couple people waiting. We got Tim coming in. Tim, hello.
Hello.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing very well, man. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so what's your thoughts been on this Colts team right now, and how big of a chance do you think they have going into the rest of the season of making a playoff rush?
Well, you definitely look at their schedule, and that Bills game was a must-win game because you always look at the schedule, and there's a couple of like toss-ups that you can always give an L there. But you look at the rest of our schedule, I don't think it's that bad. They were hyping it up on the Sunday game that like our schedule's gonna be so bad. Like we got the Patriots and we got the Bucs. Those look like our last 2 real contenders because, I mean, you have the Cardinals, but who knows who's starting at quarterback for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say, you know, when you're looking at the options, I mean, Cardinals obviously is a tough one. The Patriots are getting really hot right now, so that one's going to be tough. But yeah, if you could seep out this Tampa Bay game potentially, then this team could be really primed and ready for another great run. What was your real quick? I'll let you go on this one. What was your thoughts on Jonathan Taylor's performance Sunday, and what did it feel like? Did you actually watch the game first, by the way?
Yes, I did. I watched it live.
Okay, so how did it feel to watch basically Colts history right there? That's the all-time great performances there by a Colts running back. How did it feel to witness Colts history that night?
Well, let me tell you, I play fantasy football, and I got a lot of grief a few weeks ago that I made a trade for Najee Harris, and I got myself Jonathan Taylor, and I got clowned because it was right after that Najee Harris 12-target game. Luke, who's laughing now, baby?
Hey, I feel it, man. I feel it. Well, hey, Tim, thanks so much for waiting, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. All right, we're going to get into a friend of mine. It's actually a friend of my brother's. I know him very well. Trey, what are you doing here?
What's poppin'?
What are you doing here? You're not even a Colts fan. You're a Bengals fan. Why are you in here?
Got some things that'll interest you, okay?
Okay, sure. I want to hear these.
Shout out to my Cincy Bearcats.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Finally making the top 4.
Okay. Also, this is awesome. This people joining.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. But anyways, so I feel like I'm a Bengals fan, obviously, Cincinnati guy. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on if the Bengals and Colts are kind of in the same boat, whether it's should we push to win the division or should we just try and fight for a wild card spot?
Oh, you're in a situation. May I answer that?
Yeah, go right ahead, man.
Both the Colts and Cincinnati, they're in a situation where they can do both at the same time, right? Okay. Fight for everything. Win out. And division or no division, if you just play your best, then things will work itself out and you end up getting into the playoffs. The NFC North or the AFC North is so tight right now. I think everybody's within 2 games of each other, right? And it's going to be a tough one for that division. You're going to have to win out all of your divisional games, and that it's going to make it a little bit more tough because of how good those divisional games over there in the AFC North actually are. The games outside, like for instance, what the Colts with this game coming up, obviously is a win is a win, and it's important because it helps, tack on that extra one to try to catch up to the Tennessee Titans. But a loss this Sunday is not going to break the back of the Indianapolis Colts because it's a non-conference game, let alone non-divisional game. They could lose another game and still make the playoffs. But if you want to hit that, if you want to win your division, being 2 games back, you need to win everything in front of you.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Colts might be fighting each other for that wild card spot. Man.
Yeah, I mean it is. It's
we don't play each other, so it's really,
So like even though we don't play each other, I think we'll both have an eye on each other, which I think is really interesting.
And it was the first season in 35 years that the Colts and Bengals didn't match off in the preseason.
Yeah, for real though. Or like the first week of the season or some crap like that. Yeah. I still have nightmares of when Jack Doyle fumbled that football late in the game to cost us the game when we could have easily won. I think it was like 2016.
A preseason game?
No, it was a real game.
Oh.
It was a real game. It was the first game of the season, and Jack Doyle fumbled our games away.
What is a Bearcat?
Man, I'm with my family. I just had to answer that question an hour ago. Do you want to know the real story? Do I have time?
Sure, let's hear it real quick, and then I'll hop into somebody else.
Anyways, in like the early days of UC football, like I'm talking late 1800s, they go down to Kentucky to play the Wildcats and come back up with a big win. And I'm pretty sure the running backs for Cincinnati's his last name was like Behr. It was Bear. And he one of the linemen in the paper that week said they might be Wildcats, but we had our own Bearcat or something like that. That's where it came from.
Really lame excuse. Yeah.
I don't know if a Bearcat is a real thing, to be honest.
I don't think it is, but we'll let you live with it. You are the number 4 team in the country.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, real quick before I let you go, Trey. Did you watch any of the Colts game, or did you just watch everything based off of the highlights?
I watched a little bit with Mitch the other day. So,
did you get to watch just Jonathan Taylor absolutely wreck people?
JT crazy. By the way, I'd like to add, I didn't face Jonathan Taylor in fantasy, but if I did, I would have beaten them.
Oh yeah.
I got a question, Mr. Cincinnati fan.
Yes.
Mixon or Taylor?
I
don't even. This shouldn't even be a discussion, Trey. You know better.
Taylor is the better running back between the two.
All right, here we go. At least he's a smart enough man to at least know when it's BS.
The more dependable. I would say that Joe Mixon runs harder than anyone in the league, though. He just doesn't.
Brohim. Jonathan Taylor has the most yards per carry after contact of any running back in the league, and it's not even close.
Well, that had nothing to do with stats. Just pure Mixon runs harder than everyone. He just doesn't have the
maybe hitting the line, sure, but
he doesn't.
I mean, there's a reason why Jonathan Taylor gets more yards.
I respect Joe Mixon. I think Mixon's a good running back. He needs to find a way of staying on the field.
We just don't get downhill for him as an offensive line. That's our issue.
You need an offensive line too.
You need an offensive line still.
We're so concerned about, protecting Burrow. I think we lose sight of,
there you go. Gorhan's telling you the Cats will win this week.
Tell him Cats win this week. Oh man, Friday 3:30. Everybody tune in.
Everybody tune in. You know we will be. So
you got it.
Hey Trey, thanks so much, man, for hopping in here, bro. Good seeing you.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, see it. All right, let's head into Video Boss here. A couple other people still waiting. So, hello.
Hello. How y'all doing?
Are you there?
Yeah, I hear him.
Oh, sweet. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good.
That's good. So let me ask you, let me see what your thoughts are on the Colts game from the Bills last week. What did you make of all that?
It was an overall all-around great performance by everyone on the team.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we've been asking a lot about Jonathan Taylor, and I haven't really asked a lot of people yet about Carson Wentz. Kind of curious what everybody's thinking about that because, Carson Wentz has been really good this season, and I kind of want to know your thoughts on what he did on Sunday. Obviously, stat sheet didn't light up like Jonathan Taylor's did, but how do you feel Carson Wentz did in that game Sunday?
Like Reich said, he definitely had a A+ performance. He did everything that he was told to do. He had one of the most underrated plays that game of, running right underneath that D tackle for that 15-yard gain to really just seal it.
Yeah. So, how did you feel about the way Reich and the staff got that team ready? Because obviously the Colts were the much more ready team in that game. That's why they were able to do the things that they were doing. How did you feel from Reich to Brady to Eberflus, all of them? How did you feel that the coaching staff did performance-wise of getting this team in a better position to win this game?
Obviously one of the best all season. There wasn't like one time that entire game, maybe exactly one time that entire game where the coaching wasn't it all seemed very well.
Yeah. There was only like one time I think that I ever saw where there was ever a time when we actually didn't do a great job moving the football. But I'll let you go on this one. I got a couple more people, but one more question for you. What's your opinion on this next game against Tampa Bay? Obviously a much tougher opponent. and a lot of different perspectives. How do you feel?
I have a feeling it's about the same as going into the Bills game, where I thought that the Bills were probably going to win that due to just we haven't been good against those good teams. But after seeing us win that game, I think we can actually, get this one as well.
Absolutely. Well, hey, thank you so much, man. I'm sorry for keeping you waiting for so long, but I greatly appreciate your patience and thanks for hopping on with us.
Yeah, thanks, man. See you.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, so we saw your cat there. What's the cat's name?
That's Shadow.
That's Shadow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to get Shadow back on here. He's turning into the life of the party on the screen.
No, he just took off and went to the food dish. So I ain't getting between him and the food dish. I might not make it back.
All good, man. All good. Well, let's hop into one more person here. A couple more people have been waiting. I got DJ Abcool here, who's been in the streams a lot. Let's see if I can get him in here. Hello?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up, Lawrence? What's up,
going,
Derek?
DJ? How's it going, man?
Yo, bro, been watching your stream for like 2 to 3 years, man. Like I've been watching the stream before you guys even showed your face. Like it was like a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, man. Thank you.
It's nice to be here, man. But damn, this Colts Bills game, I don't think anyone expected us to like blow them out like we did. That was a shocker for sure.
Yeah, it was a total shock to me. I mean, I think it was a total shock to everyone in the national media. I mean, just the way, not the fact that the Colts won, but just the way they did it really just, I think, exposed the Bills in a lot of different ways that a lot of people weren't willing to admit. So I asked a couple different people already, man. We've already talked about JT. Everybody knows how great he was.
Yeah.
I want to ask your opinion on Carson Wentz because I want to hear other people's perspective on it because I just know that some people have a different way of looking at it. What's your thoughts on what Carson Wentz did on Sunday?
So there's a lot of rumors going around whether, Carson Wentz could be one of those quarterbacks where he has up and down games, or Carson Wentz could be one of those quarterbacks because he has had 2 up games in a row where he had Ravens and Texans. Those were 2 up games in a row for me. But in my opinion, Carson Wentz, I just think that, some plays he'll take his time looking down the field. There's some plays where it's our O-line or it's Wentz, but I think overall as a quarterback, he's done his job, right? Like, I don't know. I like to compare teams to the Bills except flip. So the Bills, their passing game was dominant. It was at an elite level. But their run game was, like, decent. It wasn't over the top at all. But with us, it's like flip. It's like our run game is at an elite level, in my opinion. I think our run game is a spectacular. It's our identity. But our pass game is like, I feel like it's decent. I feel like it does enough, but I don't feel like we would like spam it as much. I feel like it does enough for us to win games.
Yeah, absolutely. Lawrence, did you happen to have a question for Mr. DJ here? Because I know I've been taking most of the reign here. Didn't know if he had any other questions for this man.
Well, I will say I think that if given the opportunity and he needs to, I think Carson Wentz can make plays when needed to. You just don't want to have him over 30 passes in a game. That's like his sweet spot, Anything under that, and he seems to make good decisions throughout the game. You just can't put – I mean, if worse comes to worse, I think you can put it on his shoulders. Just don't do it very often, like the game.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I got a question for you. This coming Sunday, there is a possibility that Quentin Nelson will not play in this game. It's there,
Oh my God!
Re-aggravated that ankle injury, and he is day to day. And the idea is that the Buccaneers will be getting Vita Vea back to go on the inside with Ndamukong Suh. Do you think that's going to cause a serious problem with our run game?
If they do get Vita Vea back, which is looking most likely, man, dude, that they can stop our run because you see without Quentin Nelson, it's not as it is kind of significant because Quentin Nelson, he's able to get those good blocks in there for our run to be able to progress. So It might stop it significantly to the point where maybe Carson Wentz does have to throw the ball more, and that does scare me because if he plays hero ball, it's likely. I'm not saying it could result in an interception, but there's a possibility because we've seen that the few times where he has to play hero ball, and it doesn't go well. And hopefully, if we can get Quentin Nelson back, it would be good. But I don't know. It is pretty scary if we don't.
Yeah, I mean, it would be scary to not have Quentin Nelson, just mainly due to the fact of just the opponent that we're facing. Any other week, I would say, oh, it's okay. Chris Reed is very serviceable. I get that. But of course, when you want to have Chris Reed on the field and Quentin Nelson, this would be the week to do it, especially against a defensive line and a team that is not afraid to blitz the crap out of quarterbacks.
Yep.
And, I mean, that's exactly what you would want. So, DJ, thanks again for being on. I do have one more question for you before I let you go. What do you think the prediction is for this Buccaneers game? You think the Colts can pull out another big one, or do you think we'll fall to the curse of Tom Brady here?
I mean, as a Colts fan, you'll never hear me go for the opponent team, no matter how good they are. The GOAT is really dangerous, but I think we'll win this game. I think it'll be like the Green Bay Colts last year, man. I think it's gonna be 31-28 overtime by field goal.
Hey, I'm never gonna be disappointed with a Colts win. I'll never be disappointed pulling off a win like that. But
man,
hey,
Derek,
DJ, thank you so much, man, for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, man. You're happy last year, bro. All right, bye, man.
Yep, you too. All right. Yeah, I'm never.
I know, right?
I didn't hear that, but apparently she thought she did. But
it was close.
It was close. Oh, okay. So, some young money in here saying I'm hearing Devin White got hurt. He might be out Sunday. Is that true?
I don't know 100% yet. It's still, they're saying he'll probably still be able to play, but there's questions about it. Is what I heard, but we'll see. Unless there's new news that got broke in the last 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, is it smart at this point to just keep Quentin Nelson out for a couple weeks if you can spare it? Because I mean, he's re-aggravating that ankle so much, and Reich has been saying it like we need him to get better. Like, I know you have Tampa Bay for week 12, you have Texans for week 13, and then you're on your bye. I mean, I definitely think the Colts can win a game without Quentin Nelson playing against the Texans. I'm firmly confident in that. But ultimately, like, what about like, do you take the chance on him playing this week and then just sit him for the next 2 weeks to try and get that ankle to be back to a little bit better form?
Well, it depends. I mean, if he's good to go, let him go. But at the same time, don't push it. Don't. Like I said earlier, this isn't even a conference game. Don't push him for a non-conference game, in my opinion. We're going to need him against conference and divisional opponents. Personally, I would rather see him out there against the Texans than the Buccaneers, because that is a divisional game. I get that you're like, well, it's the Texans, but at the same time, divisional opponents, you never freaking know, So I would rather see him against the Texans more healthy than
Titans didn't know. The Titans didn't know. I mean, the Titans couldn't handle the Texans last week, so I can't say anything.
Yeah.
Even though we simply destroyed the Texans the last time, but even then, I mean, we still can't ever take anyone lightly at this point.
I mean, obviously we need him more due to how good that front seven for the Buccaneers is in the Buccaneers game, but the game itself is not nearly as important as a divisional game the following week.
James Amati with the $2 super chat. Thank you. How is this game not flexed to Sunday Night Football?
Because it's not in a flex area. It's not in a flex area.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
we already got 2 home primetime games this year now. and we ain't had one in what 4 years. Come on, man.
I know.
You're
but
asking
come
the
on,
world
everybody wants
now.
to see Jonathan Taylor, man.
This is
Everybody
our
wants to
5th
see-
primetime game this year. We're gonna have 5.
I
5
know it's
primetime
great.
games.
It's great. I love it. I love that the Colts are fine. The only reason they got it is because Carson Wentz is in town. It's the only reason, because everyone wants that reason to bash him when they see it on that. So, also DJ Abcol with a $2 super chat. We'll get into some more people here in a second. Had a few people waiting. Bucks haven't won at Lucas Oil or in Indianapolis at that point since '97.
Ooh,
Interesting.
Another great stat. The Indianapolis Colts are undefeated the last 4 years in home primetime games.
It's interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, I got
played the one, but
yeah, I got 2 more people waiting in here. We're probably only going to go here, guys, for probably another 15 minutes. Said I didn't want this one to be very long, but I greatly appreciate everybody getting in here. We got Thab here that I'm waiting on. Thab, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. I'm good. Actually, I'm not from Indianapolis. I'm from Philadelphia,
Okay.
and I'm an Eagles fan. But the crazy thing, I'm a Carson Wentz fan.
Okay.
So it's like the whole thing, like anywhere LeBron go, you go, and it's like anywhere Carson go, I go. So now, like my second favorite team is the Colts now.
That's cool.
Gotcha.
So, that Buffalo game, I feel like that was a good game. It shows how y'all run game is really good, and it shows how your defense can hold, like, contain a team like Buffalo like that. And because Buffalo is a really good team, but it shows how y'all can contain that Josh Allen and that receiver core and that running back core, and it's like this upcoming game to like with Tom Brady and them. I feel like that's gonna be it's not gonna be a challenge, but it's gonna be like a challenge because Tampa Bay is a good team, and you just see what they did to the Giants Monday. So I feel like this could be an opportunity y'all can win.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, you said you're a Carson supporter, or at least follow him in most ways. I mean, have you kept up with Carson Wentz throughout the season and seen what he's done?
Yeah, for sure. That's my guy, of course. And
all right. And how do you feel honestly that he's been? Because honestly, I mean, I've talked to a lot of Eagles people. The people that I've talked to have said that they're very impressed with Carson, and it reminds them a lot of the 2018, 2019 Wentz, but a little bit more effective. And then, of course, a lot of other Eagles fans just tell me that they're not impressed at all. I mean, how have you felt he's done throughout the season?
He doing really good. Don't just mind them other Eagles fans, but I'm an Eagles fan. I would say he's doing really good, and it shows like this is not 2017, this is not 2018, this is not 2019, this is not 2020, this is 2021. This is a new Carson Wentz, and it shows how he stepped up. He doing way much better. He could do passes that he normally do, but he doing more like he got more confidence in his receivers because when he was in Philly with us, he somewhat didn't have confidence in his receivers. And he could let go of that pressure because he got Pittman, he got T.Y., he got all of them guys around him. And it's like, if he keep doing this, I feel like some people laugh at me, but I feel like he could win the comeback player of the year because he's doing real good. Because he's doing like basically good. But I feel like it's out of him and Dak. But I feel like if he keep going like real like on this path, he go win the comeback player of the year.
Yeah, I would probably disagree with the comeback player part. I would like to vote him for that, but obviously I would imagine they'd probably give it to somebody different because, they'll use the argument of, well, he was benched for whatever reason that may be. I mean, everybody has that discussion, but
he might get it if the Colts make the playoffs and stuff.
Yeah, so. That's what I'm saying. He might get it.
Yeah. And they make the playoffs, and then the Eagles fans get that first round pick, and they're going to be like, "Yeah, I got a question for you, my guy."
Yes.
during the off-season, preseason, first couple weeks, your new head coach, former offensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts, taking a lot of heat, Nick Sirianni, over. But I got a question, since they're starting to look a lot better as a team these last few weeks. What's the feeling around Sirianni right now with Eagles fans?
It's a strong to like talk about, but he's alright. Like one point he all talk, but he no show. But sometimes when he just don't talk, he show what he can do. But and I see he okay. Man, it's like he kind of like making he kind of feeling like the fans kind of feeling him now and all that. But like when he do like the good thing, that's when we really on his side. But when he make excuses sometimes when we lose, that's when they get us a little mad because like you making excuses and it's like you head coach, you're supposed to take not all responsibility, but you're supposed to take responsibility. But in our eyes, he okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for your honest opinion.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And thanks again, man, for waiting. I'm sorry I kept you waiting for so long. I'm trying to get through everybody here, but I greatly appreciate you coming in and talking with us. I appreciate it, looking at it from a Eagles perspective and from a Carson Wentz fan. So I appreciate the perspective.
Okay. But thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, you
as
too.
well.
Sweet. All right. Let's see if we can get one more person in here. This might be the last one that we're going to do because we do kind of want to get people out. So I do apologize if anybody else is not able to get in. Let's see. We have Shane here. Shane, can you hear me?
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Doing well. I appreciate you waiting for us. And I just wanted to ask you how you felt about the Colts game on Sunday and seeing what this Colts team was able to do against a Buffalo Bill team.
Yeah, well, that Buffalo team, they look like hot garbage off the street on Sunday. Honestly, I think, the Buffalo Bills, they're still a good team no matter how you put it. Sure, the Colts put a beat down on them, 41-15. Simply, Josh Allen had a bad game. That's all there is to it. Josh Allen had a bad, rough game on Sunday. Every quarterback has one of those games where they just have a down day. You look at Patrick Mahomes through the first 8 weeks of the season, he was throwing interception after interception, and now you look at him, he beat the Dallas Cowboys. Sure, it was only by 10, but still, he's coming back to his regular, normal, oh my God, who is this dude? Why is he an NFL player? Now, Carson Wentz, Carson Wentz is that up and down type of quarterback. 1 week he could play good, and the next week it seems like the Colts do good on the run game in the first half, and then they absolute garbage in the second half. They kind of slide away from it. They're depending on Carson Wentz too much. Honestly, I think that's why we lost that Seattle game in week 1 at home. We went away from the run game a little too long in the second half, and our secondary was not all the way together. But overall, it was a good win. Jonathan Taylor is a beast. Nobody's going to be able to stop him. I don't know, man. I've had this weird feeling about Carson Wentz since the beginning of the season. And for a man that injured both his ankles in week 3 of the regular season, and now he's out here balling out like nothing ever happened. It's great to see, man. But this Tampa Bay Bucs game, that's going to be the real challenge right there. That Tampa Bay secondary is something else. That front line of the defense for Tampa Bay, that's a scary defense. And Tom Brady on the other sideline. I mean, if you're going to beat Tom Brady, you're going to have to keep him on that sideline. And that's a tough thing to do against that defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, what do you think the Colts need to do to be able to combat what this Tampa Bay defense can do to you? Obviously, they bring the pressure. They're also not afraid to only bring 4 if they feel that their defensive line is powerful enough to overwhelm you, which they do for a lot of teams. I mean, what do you think this Colts offense needs to do to combat that? I'll let you end with that one.
Well, what the Colts defense really needs to do here, they're going to have to win on first and second down with the ground game. If they're going to go to the ground game a lot, they're going to have to win on first and second down. You can't afford to get in those third and long situations against this Tampa Bay Bucs defense. It's just not acceptable. If you get into third and long situations with this Tampa Bay defense, Tom Brady's going to go back out on the field, and he's just going to run the ball. He's going to ground and pound. He's going to run that clock out, and then you're going to be stuck in a situation where you're down by 14 with 2:57 left in the game. You're going to have to win on first and second down, and you're going to have to get Carson Wentz off to a great start like you did last week and make him realize, hey, you're fighting for a playoff spot. You want to go to the playoffs? You're going to win this game. You don't want to go to the playoffs? Well, then just don't try. You're going to have to make him realize that, and he's going to have to get off to a good start. And if he don't, well, you're going to have to go to the ground game, like I said, and win on first and second down. Any other way than that, you're probably not going to win. And if it comes down to those, like, time is on the line and the game's on the line and you need a field goal to tie it up or a touchdown to take the lead and win the game, and there's 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, Carson Wentz can't automatically panic and start taking those long shots like Phillip Rivers did in the wildcard game against the Buffalo Bills in 2020. You can't panic like that. You have to stay composed. You have to be the leader that you're supposed to be, and you have to lead the team down the field. Either get that field goal or get that touchdown. And I believe this game is going to be one of those games. You know, sure, the Bucs are favored by 3, but as a Colts fan, you've seen it too many times. Tom Brady comes to Lucas Oil and he just smacks us in the face. Oh, you was a good team, yeah. Okay, sure. Boom, you're gone.
Yeah,
we've seen it way too many times. Tom Brady as a quarterback, he is the GOAT. Nobody's gonna change my mind on that. This man is absolutely fucking ridiculous. I can't stand him, but I give him a ton of credit for that smash down football he plays. He's the ageless wonder in the NFL. I don't see how he does it. Man's going on, feel like 50 years old.
Yeah.
And he's
not much longer, and he will be.
He's still out here showing what he has. So I say it's gonna be a high scoring game. I say it's gonna be see, this game makes me nervous.
Oh yeah, it does for me too.
I say it's gonna be 41-40 Colts win overtime.
Wow. What a high scoring game. Sheesh. I would love to see that. That would probably get my heart pumping too much, though. I don't know if I want to see that.
Yeah, by the end of that game, I'd probably be sitting on the edge of my seat going,
yeah, I'll probably have either a panic attack or I'll probably be reaching for a ventilator or something at some point. But Shane, thank you so much for joining us, man. Greatly appreciate your insight.
No problem, brother.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, and that's going to do it for that one. Lawrence, do you have any final thoughts? I know you had just done a stream where you were talking about this upcoming game quite a bit. Did you have any other insight to provide our chat today about what to expect going into this game?
All right, so last week, the over-under was 50.5 points, and me and DeQuell, we both was like, it's money, go over. It's money, go over. And guess what? It was over. This game, I don't think it's as much money as you think. I think it's 51 is what the line is right now, and I would not be surprised if this is a game that's more like 17-23. I know everybody's looking at high scoring, but this is a game I think where the defenses are really going to be stronger than what than what we saw this past Sunday. So I really do believe that this is a very good run defense, especially if they get Vita Vea back. And I have a full faith right now in our defense against Tom Brady. Yes, Tom Brady has beat the Indianapolis Colts many times, but for the most part, those games that they've won, it wasn't Tom Brady throwing the football that won the game. It was Bill Belichick going out there with 6 offensive linemen and running it down our throats. How many times have we got sick and tired of seeing, Blunt run 200 yards, or something of that nature? That's how they ended up, just being out physical. This is 2 very physical teams at the line of scrimmage on offense and defensive lines. And I think that's where this game's going to be won at is on either side of the offensive line for both teams.
I like it, man. I like it. Well, hey, guys, that's going to do it for this stream. I said I wanted to be around an hour. It's been about an hour. Appreciate every single person who joined into the stream tonight. And again, I'm sorry for the few people who didn't. We will definitely have this at some point later on in the season, probably in a couple weeks or so when we find out more about what the Colts direction is going to look like. But thank you again to my guy, Lawrence Owen, Colts Law. If any of you don't know who he is at this point, I don't know what you're all doing. But thank you guys again so much for the continued support. Again, we've gotten about 500 new subs on the channel over the last week. Greatly appreciate every single one of you.
Smash that like button. Smash that like button.
Hold on. How many we got right now? We hit 50. Okay, great. That was what my girl and a couple other people were trying to say in the chat. So appreciate y'all listening in chat and doing what y'all needed to do. Greatly appreciate it. It was a fun stream, guys. Thank you all again so much for the continued support. And as always, go Colts.
Go Colts.